Hello, welcome to Chore. My name is Maggie. I am a web and graphic designer from the Philadelphia area. In this project, we are going to work with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS to build an interactive web page. We will take a look at how HTML, CSS, and JavaScript work together to create a fully functional game. Let's take a look at our project. We come to our Chore project. And here we can see our workspace. Before we take a closer look at index style and our script.js page, let's take a look at the finished game. We can do so by clicking the link for Chore. We come to our game. We see that this will be the end result of working with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We have an interactive game. Our goal is to not click the door with the Chore bot. We play the game. We click. Chorebot, I lost, game over, play again. I reset, I click again, I'm not doing too well. I won a game. Current streak 1, best streak 1. I could continue to play this game. Let's go back to our tasks and let's build. Over the course of the next 70 tasks, we will work with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build this game. We begin by familiarizing ourselves with our sheets. We have our index.html. In our index.html, we see that we have a blank sheet. We have the title set to Chore, and we have our link to our style.css sheet. We also have some information on fonts. We have our closing head tag, and we have our body tags. Our body tag currently are empty. We come to our style.css, and we see the only rule that we have is for the body, and we have the background color set to this blue. We see the 6 numbers that correspond to this blue. We come to our script.js sheet, our JavaScript page. We see that this currently is empty. And we know that over the course of the next 70 tasks, we will write the rules to create a dynamic interactive site. Task 1 is complete. We move on to task 2. Task 2 brings us to our index.html page. We are going to place the div tags for our first door. We take a look at our hint. What we're going to do here is we are going to place a div tag with the class of door row after the opening body tag. I am going to copy and paste from my hint. I copy. I hit return after my opening body tag, and I paste. Now, I want to set this div to the class of door row. So I come to the opening div tag, and I type the following. Class equals door row. Task 2 is complete. I come to task 3. In task 3, I am going to copy and paste this link inside of the image tag. I copy, I select, edit copy, I come to my image source, edit paste. I save, and my door has appeared. Step 3 is complete. I move on to step 4. We want the user to know that this closed door can be clicked. In order to do this, we need to assign this door an ID. We come to the opening image tag before source, and we type the following. ID equals door 1. Task 4 is complete. We move on to task 5. In task 5, we're going to connect the ID of door 1 to our CSS. We're going to do so by creating a rule for the ID of door 1. We are going to have it so when we roll over this door, it turns to a pointer. This will let the user know that it is an interactive door. We come to our style.css and we type the following. Door 1, cursor, pointer. We save and we preview. We now see when we hover over our door, we get the pointer. Task 5 is complete. We move on to task 6. As we move on to task 6, we want to note that it is the CSS that made the pointer appear as we roll over. but it will be the JavaScript that will have the door open. Before we go any further and start to write our JavaScript, we need to connect our index.html to our script.js page. We will do this in task 6. We come to our stuck get a hint. We're going to copy and paste this line of HTML into our index.html. We select edit copy. We come to our index.html. We're going to put this in the line before our closing body tag, edit paste. Again, this line of HTML now links our script.js page to our index.html and to our style.css page. We now are ready to write JavaScript. Task 6 is complete. We come to task 7. Here, we are going to create a global variable within our JavaScript. We want to assign door1 to door image1. Let's get our stuck get a hint, and let's copy and paste this line of JavaScript. Edit copy, edit paste. Here, our global variable will be door image1. We type door image1, and we are assigning door image1 the ID of door 1. We come to our ID and we type door 1. Task 7 is complete. We move on to task 8. We move from creating a global variable to now writing a function. We are going to begin to write a function for door 1 on click. We come to our hint. We select the JavaScript. We edit and copy. We edit and paste. Our image element is door 1. We're beginning to write a function that will happen whenever this door is clicked. Task 8 is complete. We move on to task 9. In our next 2 steps, we are going to make this function take place. But before we do that, we need to create another global variable for bot door path. We're going to do this directly under door image 1. We come to the end of line 1 and we hit return. We add our next global variable. We type the following: let bot door path equal. We copy and paste the path to this image. We need to make sure that we wrap this URL path in quotes. We save. Task 9 is complete. We come to task 10. We are going to come into the door 1 arrow function, and we're going to change the source of door image 1 to the value of bot door path. What will happen now is when we click on the door, we will see bot door path. We come to our function of door 1 on click, and within the curly brackets, we type the following: door image1.src equals bot door path. We save. And now when we hover over our door and we click, we see the Chore bot. Task 10 is complete. We move on to task 11. Then we come back to our index.html. Here we want to add the other 2 doors. We're going to do this by creating 2 new image elements. We're going to assign them different IDs. The second image element will be door 2, the third door 3. Let's do the following. I'm going to actually copy and paste my first image element. I need to make sure that I start with the opening tag and get the closing tag. I come on up to edit copy, and I'm going to paste this 2 times. Edit paste, return, edit paste. Now what I need to make sure I do though is come back and change the image ID. As I come to the second one, I change the image ID to door 2. When I come to the third one, I change the image ID to door 3. I save. I now have 3 doors. Task 11 is complete. As we move to task 12, we want to make sure that we continue to keep our code clean. We can say we want to keep our code dry. We don't want to repeat ourselves. So instead of making CSS ID selectors for door 2 and door 3, these are going to all be stylized the same way. So let's create one class of door frame. Let's add this class. This class will come after the image ID, but before the source. I come to line 11 of my index.html, after the opening image tag, after the ID, before the source, I type the following. Class equals door frame. I come to door 2. I type the following. Class equals door frame. And I do the same with image ID door 3. Class equals door frame. Task 12 is complete. We come to task 13. In task 13, we are going to create the CSS selector for door frame. We come to our styles.css and we type the following. Door frame. Cursor, pointer, padding, 10 pixels. Task 13 is complete. We move to task 14. Here we can delete door 1. We are redundant with door frame, so we delete CSS selector and the rules for door 1. Task 14 is complete. We come to task 15. Now that we've put our JavaScript to work for door 1, we do not have any actions taking place for door 2 and door 3. Let's start to work on this. We come to script.js, and we are going to create our global variables for door image 2 and door image 3. We come after our first global variable of let door image 1 equal. We hit return, and let's add the other two. We type the following. Let door image 2 equal document period get element by ID in parentheses door 2 semicolon. We create our next global variable. Let's not forget too that we can come and we can get our hint. And sometimes it's easier to copy and paste and fill in where things are different. We come, we get our hint, we edit copy, edit paste, and we will change the areas where it's necessary. So we'll change this variable to door image 3. Get element by ID will be changed to door 3. We save. Task 15 is complete. We move on to task 16. Task 16. In task 16, we're going to continue with our arrow functions, and we're going to add functions for door 2 and door 3. We are going to do so under our door 1 on click arrow function. We're going to provide functions for door 2 and door 3 and give each of them their own on click function. We can do so by copy and pasting the following arrow function. Edit copy, edit paste, edit paste. As I come to my image element, I change my second function to door 2, and my next function I change to door 3. Task 16 is complete. We come to task 17. Task 17 reminds us that if we copied and pasted our first arrow function, that when we clicked, we'd be opening all Chore bots. Now, we did not do this. Our function is empty. But what we can see as we model our first door 1 on click function is that we need to create global variables for the other images that will be seen. We're going to begin by creating a global variable for beach door path. We type the following. Let beach door path equal, we copy and paste this code between the quotation marks. Task 17 is complete. We continue to task 18, where we're going to create a global variable now for space door path. And we're going to assign it this URL as its value. Now we want to remember too, as we organize our JavaScript, that we're going to keep our global variables at the top and our functions below our global variables. We type, let space door path equal, and we copy and paste the URL. Task 18 is complete. We move on to task 19. In task 19, we are going to add the functions. So when door 2 and door 3 are clicked, that they show beach door path and space door path. We come to door 2 on click and we type the following. door image 2 period source equals beach door path. Upon closer observation, I saw that I did not have the closing curly brackets. As you move through typing your code, you'll find sometimes mistakes like that are made, and as soon as you catch them, fix them. We're going to do the same for door 3 on click. We'll type the following: door image 3 source equals space door path. Task 19 is complete. Let's take a look and see if this works. We save. We click door 1, Chore bot. We click door 2, beach. Door 3, outer space. We now have added interactivity to our 3 doors. We move on to task 20. Now that we have all of our 3 doors, let's start stylizing this a little bit more and add a header and the directions. We come back to our index.html, and here, right after the body tag, we're going to create a new div element, give it the class name of header, and then we're going to copy and paste an image element inside of that header. We come to our index.html, we come to our opening body tag, we hit return, we add a div tag. When I add a div tag or any HTML tag, I also like to type my closing tag. Sometimes it's easy to forget to add those. This one will have the class of header. Class equals header. After my opening div tag, I add my image. I type the following: image source equals. I paste the URL in between the quotation marks. My header image is now there, but I cannot see it because of the color. Task 20 is complete. We move to task 21. We are going to create a header CSS selector. We come to our styles.css and we are going to place this above the door frame. I come after the body, CSS rules and selector, I hit return, and I type the following: header, background color, 00, FFFF, text align, center. We can see that this makes a huge difference. We can now read our logo, Chore Door. Task 21 is complete. We move on to task 22. We come to task 22. We're going to continue to stylize this game. And our next task, we are going to add another div element, and we're going to give it the class of title row. And then we're going to copy and paste this URL with a star image into it twice. We come to our index.html and we're going to come after our div header. We hit return and we type the following: I add my opening div tag and I'm going to add my closing div tag. I come into my opening div tag and I'm going to assign this element a class. I type class equals title row. Inside of these div elements, I will copy and paste 2 images. I begin by giving my image element, image source equals. Since I'm going to do this image twice, I will finish the first image of the star and then I will copy and paste for the second. I select the URL, I copy, and I paste. I have my first star element. Let's add the second star element. I copy the opening image tag all the way to the closing image tag. I come after the closing of the first image. I hit return and I paste. I save. Now I see I have 2 stars in the left corner. Task 22 is complete. I move on to task 23. Here we're going to start to stylize the title row. I'm going to come to my styles.css. I'm going to place this under the header CSS selector. We type the following: margin top 42 pixels, margin bottom 21 pixels, text align center. We save and we preview. Our stars are now centered in our page. Task 23 is complete. We move on to task 24. In task 24, we're going to come back to our index.html and we're going to come to the div class of title row and we're going to come after our first star. We're going to hit return and we're going to add a P element, and in between that we will type instructions. I created my opening and my closing P tag, and in between I type instructions. I save and I preview. I can see that instructions is not the right color and that my stars are lining up one above the other. In task 24, I also want to give this element the class name of instructions title in order to stylize it. So I come back to my P tag and I type the following: class equals instructions title. Task 24 is complete. I come to task 25. Here we are going to stylize what we are seeing with the instructions. We come to our styles.css, we come under our title row, and we type the following: instructions title display in line. We save, and we can see they are all now on the same line. Task 25 is complete. We move on to task 26. We need to add more CSS rules for instructions. We can see that it's very difficult to read. So we're going to add the following rules. We come back to instructions title and we type the following: font size 18 pixels, color 00, FFFF, font family work sans. We save and we see a huge difference. Task 26 is complete. We move on to task 27. We now have the title of instructions in our P tags. We need to now write the directions, and we are going to use a table in order to organize the directions. In the index.html, beneath the class title row, we're going to create a new table, and we're going to give it the class name of row. Inside of that, we're going to create 4 identical empty TR elements. We can actually come to our hint and we can copy and paste. Edit copy, come to our index.html. We come after the closing div tag for title row. We see our image tag, our P tag, our image tag. We have our closing. We hit return and we paste our table. We want to make sure that our table has the class name, instructions row. We save. Task 27 is now complete. We move on to task 28. In task 28, we are going to nest 2 TD child elements within the TR parent elements. The TR elements are the rows, and the TD elements are the cells. So we begin. We come to our first TR opening tag and we add the following: our opening TD tag and our closing TD tag. We want 2 in each spot. So edit copy, edit paste. We know that the first one will have the class of instructions number. We type class equals instructions number. We come to our second TD tag and we type the following: class equals instructions text. Since we want to add the same exact TD tags with the same exact classes, let's copy and paste these 2 lines of code. I select line 20 and 21, making sure I get the opening and the closing tags. I copy. I come to my next opening TR tag. I hit return. I paste. I come to my next opening TR tag. I hit return. I paste. I come to my next opening TR tag. I hit return and I paste. Task 28 is complete. I move on to task 29. Task 29, I'm going to come into the instruction numbers and I am going to add 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stuck, get a hint? Gives me a little clue. I come to my first TD class of instruction numbers and I type 1. I come to my second TD class instruction numbers, 2, my third, 3, my fourth, 4. I save. Task 29 is complete. I move on to task 30. We're going to come to the instructions text, and we're going to copy and paste the 4 directions in the game in order. We come to our first one. We edit copy. We come to our TD class instructions text with the number 1 above, and we paste. We copy our second rule. I select, edit copy. I come to my TD class instruction text after the number 2. I paste. I come to 3. Again, I repeat my steps. I'm selecting, edit copy. I come to after 3, edit paste. I come to the 4th one. I select, see if you can score a winning streak. Edit copy. And I come to the TD class, edit paste. I save. My instructions are all there, very difficult to read, and I will work with my CSS in the next step. Task 30 is complete. We move on to task 31. Here we're going to return to our style.css and we're going to create rules for instructions row and instructions title. Come to our style.css. We come under instructions title and we type the following. Instructions row, margin 0 auto, width 400 pixels. We save and we preview. Task 31 is complete. We come to task 32. Under instruction row, we're going to add instruction number and we're going to stylize it with the following properties. We hit return and we type the following. Instructions number, padding right, 25 pixels, font family, work sans, font size, 36 pixels, color, 00, FFFF. We save and we preview. It's made a really big difference. Task 32 is complete. We move on to task 33. Now we want to work with the instructions text. We're going to add this under the instructions number, and we're going to add the following rules. We type the following. Instructions text, padding 10 pixels, font family, work sans, font size 14 pixels, color FFFFFF. We save and we preview. We have officially added our directions. Task 33 is complete. We move on to task 34. Now let's center our doors. We can do so by typing the following. We come after instructions text and we hit return. And we are going to focus on the class of door row. We type the following. Door row, text, align, center. We save and we preview. We see our doors in the center. Task 34 is complete. We come to task 35. Task 35, we're going to begin to create a good luck area at the bottom. We come back to our index.html. We come after the door row element. We have our opening div tag for door row. We have our closing div tag. We hit return. We add another div. Our opening div tag, our closing div tag. For this div, we're going to give it the ID of start. In between these div tags, we're going to type good luck. We save. And we see our good luck text in the left side. It definitely is difficult to read, so now we're going to move on to stylize this. Task 35 is complete. We move on to task 36. Here we come back to our styles.css. After door frame, we're going to add another CSS selector. We type the following. Start row, margin, auto, width, 120 pixels, height 43 pixels, font family Work Sans, background color EB6536, padding top 18 pixels, font size 18 pixels, text align center, color 010165, margin bottom 21 pixels, cursor pointer. We save and we preview. Since start row is an ID, we begin our IDs with the hashtag. We begin our class elements with period. Task 36 is complete. As we move on to task 37, we want to begin to work more with our JavaScript to make this page interactive. We begin by adding a random chore door generator function using an arrow function syntax. Let's get our hint. We can edit, we can copy, and we are going to come below our global variables and add the following function syntax. Edit, paste. Now, our new function will be the following: random chore door generator. We save. Task 37 is complete. We move on to task 38. In order for the logic of this game to work, we need to start to build the logic. Let's begin by creating a number of closed doors. We'll do so by adding the following global variable. We'll type let number closed doors equal 3. Task 38 is complete. We move on to task 39. Currently, if we were to play our chore door game, the chore bot is always behind door number 1. In task 39, we will begin to create the logic for the chore bot to hide behind different doors. We are going to do this by creating a math function. This function will randomly generate a whole number between 0 and 2. We read over what this math function will utilize, that it will use the number of closed doors variable as a multiplier, and that we will use math.floor function to round down this decimal value. Now, within our hint, we'll see the full syntax for generating the chore door value. We edit and copy, and we come to our random chore door generator, and in the line with the function, we paste. Task 39 is complete. We move on to task 40. So we've created the random chore door generator, and we have begun to randomly generate one of 3 possible values, 0, 1, or 2. We continue to write this logic, and we actually need to assign possible values to different doors. We'll have the door where the chore bot lives, a door for the beach door, and a space door as well. Before we go any further, let's assign global variables for open door 1, open door 2, and open door 3. We are not going to assign a value to them globally. The values instead will be assigned in the random chore door generator function. After let number closed door equal 3, we add the following. Let open door 1, let open door 2, let open door 3. We come to task 41. Here we are going to write an if-else statement where the conditions for chore door will be 0, 1, or 2. We will do so directly below the math function for our random chore door generator. Let's start with this code here to help us get started. We edit, copy, we come after the rule for our math function, and we paste. Let's add our line for chore door equals 2. We type else, curly brackets, parentheses. Within the parentheses, we type the following. Chore door equals 2. Task 41 is now complete. We come to task 42. Here we're going to assign the bot door path to open door. Within the conditions, we have 3 conditions: if, if, and else. We come to our first condition after if, and we'll type the following. Open door 1 equals bot door path. For our second command, we'll type open door 2 equals bot door path. I'm actually going to edit and copy this line. I'm going to paste it here, and I'll change the door number. Open door 2 equals bot door path. I'll do the same after chore door equals 2. I'll paste. I'll change this one to open door 3. Open door 3 equals bot door path. Task 42 is complete. We come to task 43. Here we are going to assign doors to beach door path and space door path. We come after open door 1 equals bot door path. We hit return and we assign open door 2. We type the following. Open door 2 equals beach door path. We hit return and we type the following. Open door 3 equals space door path. After open door 2 equals bot door path, we'll add variables for beach door path and space door path. Let's actually copy these 2 lines of code, and let's come after open door 2 equals bot door path, press return, and paste. Let's change the door numbers. We'll change it to open door 1 equals beach door path, open door 3 equals space door path. We come after open door 3 equals bot door path, we hit return and we paste. Again, we'll change the numbers. Open door 3 equals bot door path, open door 1 equals beach door path, open door 2 equals space door path. Task 43 is now complete. We come to task 44. Here we're going to work with door 1 on click, door 2, door 3. We want to change the source to reflect open door 1, open door 2, and open door 3. We begin. We come to door image 1 source and we'll change the source to open door 1. We come to door image 2 source and we type the following. Open door 2. We come to door image 3 and we type the following. Open door 3. Task 44 is complete. We come to task 45. In task 45, we are going to check and see if our random chore door generator is working or not. So we are going to call this function. We'll do so by typing the following. We come to the end of our script.js page and we type random chore door generator parentheses semicolon. We save and we check. As we refresh our page, we see that our chore bot now appears in a different door. We are moving along and getting our game to work. Task 45 is complete. As we move on to part 2 of this project, we are going to work on building a winner. We start with task 46. We're going to create the play door function. This function will serve 2 very important roles. 1, it will decrease the number of closed doors, and it will determine the winning conditions for our game and call game over. Let's start by creating the play door function below our global variables. We can take a look at our hint for how we're going to write our function. I select the code from my empty function, I edit copy, and I paste. I change the function name to play door. Task 46 is complete. I move on to task 47. Within this play door function, we're going to write code to decrease the number of closed door variables every time it's called. We're going to use a decrement operator. We come to our hint and we copy number of closed doors minus minus, and we are going to paste this, begin writing this function. Task 47 is complete. We move on to task 48. In task 48, we're going to write an if-else statement. That's going to help us determine the game's winning conditions. The game winning condition would be the number of closed doors equaling 0. So if that is met, then it would be called for game over. We take a closer look at our hint and we can copy and paste this code. in our play door function. We come to our play door function, we hit return, and we paste. We have the first part of our if-else statement. Task 48 is now complete. We move on to task 49. In task 49, we are determining where we're going to place our play door function. We know that this will happen on click. So we come to our script.js file and we locate our door 1 on click, door 2 on click, and we add the following. We start with door 1 on click. After door image 1 source equals open door 1, we hit return and we type play door. We add the same to door 2 on click as well as door 3 on click. Task 49 is complete. We move on to task 50. As we move on to task 50, we want to continue to think about the logic of our game, and we want to make sure that there aren't any flaws. So we know that number of closed doors equals 0 is currently the winning condition, but we want to make sure that a player cannot click the same door time and time again. So above the play door function, let's add an isClicked function that has door as a parameter. We can come to our hint, we can copy, and we paste. Our function type is clicked. We're setting our parameter to door. Task 50 is now complete. We move on to task 51. Here, we're going to create another global variable for closed door path, and we'll assign it this URL string as its value. We want to make sure that we always list our global variables before our functions. In the area of my global variables, I'm going to type the following. Let closed door path equal. I'm going to copy and paste. Task 51 is complete. We move on to task 52. Here we're going to return to our isClicked function, and we're going to write an if-else statement where the condition is going to check the door's source to make sure that it's equivalent to closed door path. If the door's source is closed, then it hasn't been opened yet, and it would return false. Otherwise, the door will be read as being opened. As we come into our hint, we see this if-else statement written for us. We can edit, copy, and we can come to our isClicked and we can paste. Task 52 is now complete. We come to task 53. In task 53, we are going to return to our onClick functions. We're going to wrap the current logic with an if statement. This if statement will determine if the isClicked has happened or not. Let's take a look at our hint to help us get started. We see our hint. We're going to select our hint. We will edit, copy, and we'll come to door 1 on click. We'll hit return after the curly bracket and we'll hit paste. I'm going to delete out this function code. Now, since this is wrapped, I'm going to take the ending curly bracket. I'm going to edit, cut, and I'm going to come to the end and paste. I come to door 2 on click and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to select my hint, edit, copy, come to the end of door 2 on click, hit return and paste. I'm going to come to door 3 on click, hit return and paste as well. Now I'm going to come back to where I pasted and I'm going to change if is clicked door image. This one will be door image 2. I'm going to delete out my function code. And again, since it's being wrapped, I am going to take this and put it at the end in order to wrap it. I come to door 3 and I'm following the same format. Door 3 on click. I'll change this to door image 3. I'm going to delete my function code here, commented out. And I'm going to paste my curly bracket at the end in order to wrap this. As I review the work that I've just done, I see that I left this curly bracket when I was working with door 2 on click. As you work, continue to check your work to look for these kinds of mistakes. I delete this extra curly bracket. Task 53 is complete. We move on to task 54. Here we are going to add a game over function. This function will be used to actually end the game when the number of closed doors equals 0. We're going to come under our on-click functions and we are going to add an empty function named game over. We type an empty function called game over. Task 54 is complete. We move on to task 55. We need to create one more global variable. We're going to create a start button global variable, and we're going to use the JavaScript DOM method to assign its value to the HTML element with the ID of start. We come to our global variables section and we type the following. Let start button equal document get element by ID start. Task 55 is complete. We move on to task 56. In task 56, we are going to expand the game over function. We're going to begin by adding status as a function parameter, and we're going to write an if statement about the status of winning. We add status as our parameter. We select our if statement that's written for us. We edit copy. We come after our opening curly bracket. We hit return. We edit paste. Task 56 is now complete. We move on to task 57. We return to our play door function. We want to work on changing the start button text. This will not happen without adding an argument. We're going to add the string of win as an argument for game over. We come to game over and we type win. And now when we play our game and we click our doors, we see our text changes in our start button. We refresh. The problem that we're seeing though is as soon as we open all 3 doors, we get you win. Play again. We've gotten it to change to win. Now we need to keep working with our functions. In the next series of steps, we'll continue to apply the rules of the game. Task 57 is complete. We move on to task 58. As we move to part 3, we are going to work on making this act like a game. We're going to build a loser. We need to check if a door has the game-ending chore bot. We are going to add a new function called isBot. We're going to place this above the isClicked function, and we're going to set door as its argument, and we're going to add an if-else statement. Our if-else statement will check if the door source value is equivalent to the bot door path. As I take a closer look at my hint, I see that this is written for me. So I'm going to select my hint, edit copy, and I'm going to come above isClicked and edit paste. My function name will be changed to isBot. My argument is door. I save. Task 58 is complete. We move on to task 59. Here, we're going to write a function to determine the door's source. We want to know if this door source contains the game-ending chore bot. Let's apply this logic into some of our current JavaScript functions. We come to play door. We are going to add door as an argument for play door. We add door. And then we're going to add an else if statement that checks if the isBot is true. We take a look at our hint. Let's select, edit copy, and we'll come after our closing bracket and we'll paste. Task 59 is complete. We move on to task 60. In task 60, we're going to call game over if the isBot function equates to true. Type the following: game over lose. We'll save. Task 60 is complete. We move on to task 61. We come back to our on click, door 1 on click, door 2 on click, door 3 on click, and we are going to add the argument for our play doors. We come to play door and we type door 1. We come to play door under door 2 on click and we type door 2. We come to play door under door 3 on click and we type door 3. Task 61 is complete. We move on to task 62. We are going to take a look again at our game over function. We see that within this logic we have a winner, you win, play again. Let's add game over, play again. We'll do this with an else statement. We can see our hint, select, we'll edit copy, and we'll come after our if statement and we'll paste. We'll save, and let's take a look at our game. We click, you win, play again. Let's lose this time. Game over, play again. It knew that I lost, but as we continue, we see when we open all 3 doors, you win. Also, every time we want to refresh it, we have to come back to refresh. We're moving along, but we still have more work to do. Task 62 is complete. We move on to task 63. As we just played the game, we saw that there is a problem with the current logic. We need to add more logic to fix this game. We're going to begin by creating another global variable, name it currently playing, and set its value to true. We remember that we always put our global variables with other global variables. So we come to the top of our document. I'm going to come after let open door 3, and I'm going to type the following: let currently playing equal true. Task 63 is complete. We move on to task 64. At the bottom of our game over function, we're going to set currently playing to false. We want to set this so the additional doors will no longer be able to open once we get our Chore bot. We're going to set currently playing to false outside of our if-else statement. Come after our closing bracket of our else statement, we hit return, and we type the following: currently playing equals false. Task 64 is complete. As we move on to task 65, we're looking at the door element on click functions, and we want to add an if statement that will check whether current playing returns true and the door's click function returns false. Let's take a look at our hints, and we see that we want to complete this if condition. We need the Boolean AND operator as well as the NOT operator. I come to door 1 on click, and I add the following: currently playing ampersand ampersand. I complete the if condition in door 2 on click and door 3 on click, and I click save. Let's take a look and see if this works. I'll make my screen big. I'll click, and I try to click my third door and it will not let me. I refresh. I'll do it one more time. When I go to click my other doors, it will not let me. Task 65 is complete. We move on to task 66. We know that the only way to play our game is to refresh. What we're going to do in task 66 is turn our start button into just that, a start button that will refresh our game. We're going to do this directly underneath the door elements by adding an on-click function. We can take a look at our hint. We'll use our hint to get us started. We select, we edit copy, we come after our door 3 on click, we edit paste. Our element is start button, and our function to call will be start round. Task 66 is complete. We move on to task 67. As we come to task 67, we are going to create the start round function. This function will restart a game, and it will also reset the variables back to their original values. We type the following. Door 1 source equals closed door path. Door 2 source equals closed door path. Door 3 source equals closed door path. Number of closed doors equals 3. Currently playing true. Start button.innerHTML equals good luck. Task 67 is complete. We move on to task 68. After all of these variables are reset, we're going to call the random chore door generator function, and we're going to do this at the bottom of our start round function. We come after start button inner HTML, we hit return, and we add the following. Random chore door generator. Task 68 is complete. In task 69, we are going to change the random chore door generator function at the end to start round. We save. Let's play our game. Game over, play again. One of the problems though is as I open a door, I can click and I can reset my game even when I have not finished the game. So in task 70, we are going to make sure that we cannot reset the game mid-round. We're going to wrap our start button on click function in an if statement. We're going to make it so that the condition checks if the person is currently playing. We're going to wrap the start button on click in a function. This if statement will check to see if currently playing variable is false, and if so, the player will not be able to reset the game mid-round. Let's take a look at our hint, and we can see we have two different ways that we can write this. I'm going to go with the first one. I'm going to edit, copy. I come to start button on click. I come at the opening of my function after my opening curly bracket, and I paste. Now I am wrapping this in this if statement, so I'm going to take the closing curly bracket, I'm going to delete it, I'm going to come after start round, hit return, and I'm going to add the closing curly bracket. I'm going to hit save, and let's play our game. Game over, play again. Let's see if I can reset it. It will not let me reset this. Over the course of the last 70 steps, we have worked with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create an interactive game. In the first half of this project, we focused primarily on HTML and CSS to build the look and the style of the game. And in the last part of this course, we worked with JavaScript to write the functions, create the global variables, and create the logic to play the game Chore Door. This is Maggie from Code Academy. Happy coding!